What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a fantastic day today. I know I am. I've been sitting here literally for like the last hour. I'm gonna say an hour. I've been sitting here just digging into stuff, reading all these different articles, some of which, by the way, are super biased. If you look up Rudy Giuliani right now, literally every time you look him up, they're only showing the messed up pictures of the hair dye and all these different articles, which cannot be the only thing going through the Google algorithm right now. It's messed up. It shows you that this is just like tabloid news, man, that they're doing. And it's all good, though. We're not even going to trip. How are you ladies doing today?
Good.
I'm great. Can't complain.
You guys see I was smart this time, right? I invited only girls. That way I can get more viewers.
Oh, you're using us.
No, I'm kidding. Somebody said that the last time. So I'm like, hey, it's a good idea, you know? But no, man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, especially when it comes to this election. I'm sure you guys have been paying attention to what's been going on and all the stuff that they've been putting out and have not been putting out in the news, some of which I'm going to talk about today, what they haven't been putting out into the news. So, you guys got anything before we get going right now?
No.
Bring
I just
it.
have the video. So whenever you're ready, we can play that.
Where's the video?
Sidney Powell video.
Oh,
It's
hey,
right
Shelly.
Hey, Shelly.
I hope you guys all had a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I did. I ate a bunch of pumpkin pie. I'm still eating pumpkin pie. Where'd you send me that video to, Suni?
I sent it to the group chat.
Group chat on Messenger?
Yeah.
Okay, let me find it. We're going to do this. I'm going to play that video, and then I'm going to talk about some stuff that they have not put out in the news. It ain't been put out at all. Sworn affidavit, all kinds of stuff.
It's not enough evidence for them. Remember that. That's not good enough. North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina, man. I love North Carolina.
All right, here we go. I found it. There it is. Okay. We share the screen. My bad, you guys. Takes forever. I switched it up because, I've been shadow banned. So what I did was I went ahead and got me a VPN to see if that helped. And it looks like it did just a little bit.
Told you.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know what the hell is taking this thing so long.
Here, I'll share it. You can pull it up on my screen.
Awesome. You're the best. Okay. Greetings from North Side of Chicago, Latino for Trump representing. I heard that, my brother. Appreciate you. Or sister. I don't know. Roni. All right, here we go. Mute the mic, Shaw.
So the check stuff paid to people to ballot harvest and do fraudulent voting. So this year was every means and manner of fraud that you can possibly imagine, and many that you could never imagine.
So how many fraudulent votes do you think that Joe Biden had on his side of the slate?
Probably at least 10 million.
10 million fraudulent votes?
Probably.
And how many?
Maybe more.
And President Trump lost 7 million votes. And how many dead people? How many votes of dead people were cast, do you think?
We're still tracking down that data to see if what we've been provided is real, but if it is correct, it's several million.
So did most of these votes disappear for the
Really?
Several million.
Million.
That is crazy. Several million. But check this out. All right. Matt Brainer's data. He says that there's clear evidence of 20,311 absentee or early votes in Georgia, right? That voted while registered in another state. They were registered in a whole nother state and voted in that state. All right. The 20,311 votes by person documented as having moved exceeds the margin of which Donald Trump lost the election by 7,641 votes. Why ain't that in the news? Why is that not in the news? And this is all stuff that I would feel that's important, very important, and deserves for people to be like, you know what, we need to look into this. That right there is that statement, which is a fact. This isn't even a statement that's an opinion. This is a fact. Registered voters, okay, registered in 2 places, voted in 2 places, and exceeds the margin by 7,000 that Trump lost. That right there is very important. You can't vote in 2 different states at the same time. And if they didn't, then who did it for them? You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's important. That's number 1. Number 2, the water leak. The water leak in the State Farm Arena, right? In Fulton County, says after the polls cleared, election workers falsely claimed that a water leak required that the facility close. All poll workers and challengers were evacuated for several hours at 10 p.m. However, several election workers remained unsupervised and unchallenged working at the computers for the voting tabulations until after 1 a.m., which is illegal with a capital I. That is illegal. That right there shows you that something is off. This is not okay. This is something that should never happen. All right. Then we got a sworn affidavit. This one isn't in the news, and I don't understand why this is not in the news. This is just a little bit of the stuff that they have, all right, that's being released that you have to dig to find. They're not putting none of this stuff in the news. In the news, they're saying, oh, no, he won. He won. Biden's the president-elect, and that's just that. Yet the electoral votes that they say they gave to Biden have not been counted for Biden. There's still no winner yet. Legally, there's no winner yet, all right? Says this person says that he noticed that all the ballots that he received were for Biden. He also observed that the watermark on at least 3 of the ballots were solid gray instead of transparent. So it seemed to him that the ballots were counterfeit. So when he challenged this and took it to the election director, he said, no, they're legitimate ballots, and it was just because they used a different type of printer. So a different type of printer is going to make the watermark look different.
Don't all printers print the same black? I mean, I don't, or the same transparency or the same grays. I mean,
that seems like it wasn't watermarked. It seems like they just used the printer that didn't use a watermark just to duplicate a ballot.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me. But this is all alleged. This is all alleged. I'm not going to say it's true or if it's true or it's not true. All I'm going to say is there's too much stuff that is being put out there now that is coming out saying, okay, there's more than enough evidence here to show that we need to look into this. Not to say that, Biden didn't legitimately win. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that this election is funny. That's all I'm saying is the election is funny and something is up. Something's up. And then why would you not want to, declare a clear winner by auditing these different states where funny stuff happened? A water leak, closed down a facility and people were staying in messing with the machines with no challengers. Ballots coming in with a messed up watermark. But the director says, no, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Dead people voting. Ballots being dumped. There's all the people voting in 2 different states. That's not a legitimate reason for somebody to be like, you know what? Something's funny here. Something's funny here. I'm trying to tell you guys, it's going down, man. It's going down. There's also a video that I want you guys to see. Where's it at? You guys go right ahead, talk about it. Let me know how you feel about all these stuff that I just showed you.
Have you ever?
I think I felt that.
Have you ever seen the Dominion's manual? Have you ever gone through it?
No.
Okay. You read through it? Okay,
Yeah.
So the very beginning shows pretty much the schematics of it and how it all works. I don't know if you want to show it on here, but I have the photo right here. And you can go look at this online. Everybody can go pull it up.
And the authors, like after all this stuff came out about Dominion, the originally it had like the authors listed of who wrote it. After all this shit hit the fan, basically, the authors like redacted their names off of the manual. So the manual that we have now, did you get the same one from Marlon Sooney?
Mm-hmm.
So now there's no names if you look at it now.
Yeah, there's no names. Can't see who the authors were. You can't see where it originated from. You can't see nothing.
Exactly. And then why would they not meet? Why would they not want to meet? They're like switching offices. They're off like some of their offices, I believe in Philadelphia, and there was one somewhere else. I can't remember the name of it. They're just like gone. They lawyered up. They redact the names on the actual meal. Like if all these little coincidences does not make people raise an eyebrow, I don't know what will, to be honest. Because I feel like where there is smoke, there is fire. It's common sense. And I think that people get so caught up in wanting to win that their moral compass gets so thrown off that they can't see straight, just so that they can get the W. Like for me, even though Trump is the person that I am cheering for because I just think he's better for America, I want it to be a fair election. If he loses this election fair and square, respect it. I won't like it, but I will respect it.
You know what's crazy? Y'all want to hear something nuts?
Yeah.
Dominion, right, is based out of Canada, correct? Did you know that Canada does not use that? They will not use it. They use paper ballot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they won't even use it. Canada won't touch it. They use paper ballot, and it comes out of Canada, supposedly. You know, paper trail says that it comes out of Canada. But Canada won't use it for their elections. Why is that? These are all questions that nobody's asking. I mean, come on. Think about it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist for you guys to understand there's something is going on here.
Facts.
These machines are faulty. They're not even faulty. Maybe they are reliable to a fault, but for a purpose. Maybe they're reliable to a fault to go ahead and switch a ballot.
The manual actually tells you how you can insert things to switch things. It goes into full detail. Like it's not that it's not out there. But again, unless it's people who are more like us, who actually investigate and read into stuff and look into all this stuff, then we don't get that. Then they're not going to know because they don't want to know. It's so easy to turn a blind eye to it. Think that the world is not, the beautiful house with the white fence around it. So
what is this that you got pulled up on the screen right here, Suni?
So this is the schematics. This is how it all works. These are all the working pieces. You got the image cast, which means the machines you go and press. And then you have the tabulator where all these image cast ballots are counted. Then it's supposed to go through this, which is supposed to be a human looking at all these things coming in, checking discrepancies. And then you got the reports. This is my main issue. This big red dot here is a huge server. It's a standalone server, which means you can get remote access to it. You can access it through a VPN. You can access it through a, when I used to do remote working, you would have to log in through a secure portal to even get to work. So you're telling me they have proof that they're putting mirror images on these image cast voting machines right here. People are pressing one thing and voting another way. They had it in the episodes of The Simpsons. That's what's even worse. Before this election happened, they had this happening in an episode with Obama and Mitt Romney. And they were trying to vote Obama, but it kept voting Mitt Romney. This entire system is faulty. It should never have been used. I don't understand how I can crack this. The most disturbing part for anybody who's a techie or a nerd, they use a standard encryption that you would put on a basic laptop computer to keep it secure. Now, the encryption is really strong, okay? But to put it onto an election process where we're all supposed to trust that our votes are being counted and you're not doing any shady stuff, use that type of encryption.
You know what's kind of cool though? I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to you. You know what's kind of really cool and hopeful is that let's say that everything goes south, right? Let's say that Biden becomes the president until 2024. You know, they did a poll and they put a list of 10 people's names on who they want to vote to be the president in 2024, right?
Yeah.
Guess who won?
Trump.
Donald Trump. Guess who was second place?
Who?
Donald Trump Jr. And then everybody else underneath that combined didn't beat the margin that Trump won by. 58% of the people that they asked, 58% would vote Trump back in office in 2024.
It's because this isn't over.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm telling you guys something's fishy here. And I believe that we're about to find out some really messed up stuff here in the next couple weeks, man. Yeah. I believe it's a lot of messed up stuff that's going to come to light and is going to shake the foundation of our country to let them know that it's messed up. You know what I'm saying? The way that they did things, the way that the election's been ran. And when that happens, I believe that we're going to see 4 more years of Trump. That's what I believe personally.
So what's crazy though is like anybody that I've talked to that is, and I won't say is a Democrat, but is other than a Republican, basically, they all want the recount too. And even in their words, it's like, yeah, recount and let's prove that he's really not voted in. You know, that's their methodology behind it. But it's like, and then there's a poll that says 2/3 of the nation want a recount too. But why is the media sitting here like, oh, you're just a sore loser and no, you know, this courthouse shut him down and this and that? Like, why, as journalism and media, why are you not promoting that? Like, that in itself is fishy to me. Yeah. Because they all are just into shaming him and like all this craziness, like calling him fat. Thanks a lot, you know, Anderson Cooper, and you know what I mean. But like,
yeah.
It's just and like I told you earlier, like the one article that says ex-President Trump, like, really, y'all, really? No, ma'am. Like, not even yet. If he did lose, like, it's just insane that nobody is even. Shirley,
I'm a troll that wants attention.
Busted.
Dang, Shirley, that's how you feel.
Don't get us started on the trolls, man. Not while I'm here.
No, but you know what? Like, I've seen, like.
I thought she was cool.
Right. Yes, that's why I told you to pull it up, because I see her on like all of those comments and all these positive things. So I don't know.
All good. Maybe she's a little upset. That's all right. I hope you have a good day, Shirley.
I'm kind of like, wait.
Oh, she said I meant to say you have a troll that wants attention.
Oh, I was about to say, like, dang, man, I love her. She's always so nice on the comments.
That's why I was shook. I was like, wait, like, we're gonna all know her because she's always commenting.
Yeah, no, she's fine.
I'm like, wait, what happened?
I wasn't gonna get nasty to her. She's been a sweetheart the entire time I've been out here doing my thing, man. So even if she did switch up, I wasn't gonna be mad at her.
You know, the thing is, because she's so much on your page, I'd like let's address the elephant in the room.
Hope you had a fantastic. Okay, it's all good. Forget the trolls though, Shirley. It's all right. We got trolls. Don't worry about it.
Shirley, I love you.
Yeah, there's something else that I had seen. Can you pull up the press conference, Suni?
From when?
The one
it's
that they
morning
did in
here. Yeah. So I haven't looked at anything.
Oh, okay. The one that they did in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, yeah.
Oh, okay. Don't you have it on your page, Charlie?
Because a couple people said that he lost Pennsylvania now.
That's what the media is trying to say.
Oh, okay. That's the media. Then we ain't gonna listen to that.
Are you talking about the one in Philadelphia, Cash?
But they're mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be on my page too.
Okay.
It was by Breitbart or Breitbart, however you pronounce it.
Breitbart.
Yeah.
Where is
there
it?
She is. There she is. Look, love my boy. I love you too, lady.
That's why I was so confused. I was like, wait, what?
No, she's good. I don't care what nobody says. I'm trying to tell you guys, man, there's too much evidence that if you guys pull it up on your own, you can't trust the media, man. You got to literally dig and look up independent sources, man. Independent media sources from that state. If you want to find out information about that state, go to that state, to news people from that state, and then look at it. Don't trust the media. The media is going to send you way off.
Down a rabbit hole. Where do you want me to start? This is like 3 hours long. And I have no idea the timestamps.
Yeah, I don't either.
The sworn testimonies of the people.
Okay.
One where they start letting the witnesses talk.
Oh yeah, the lady was first.
Yeah, if you get to Senator Argall too, he talks about a lot.
Okay.
Sheesh. We'll start it here. Yeah, I think he's next. I'm gonna play here.
Dope as fuck. And then what's his name? The guy who actually got it together. I forget his name. Doug something with an M. He spoke like last. He closed it out, but he was bomb too.
Oh, and everybody here, by the way, we got almost 1,000 people here watching us. If you could, please go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell icon so you never miss another upload, because screw Facebook. And it helps me out a long way. They're messing with my algorithm. So I would appreciate it, everybody that's on Facebook right now. If you're watching, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. I love you.
To tell you what I witnessed.
You got to turn it up a little bit soon.
Where the warehouse where they opened the mail-in ballots.
Is that better?
To separate them from the envelopes, as we've been discussing. As the afternoon of Election Day, I went to the down to the warehouse to see a canvasser.
I can barely hear it. Can you guys hear it?
Be able to watch them open the mail-in ballot.
I guess it's the video because I can't put the volume up any higher.
Let's ask the people in the comments. Can you guys hear this when she plays it?
And as the gentleman Justin just described.
All right, everybody just mute your mic.
As I was led back to the area where we were able to view them opening the mail-in ballots, we were kept in a corral that was at least 15 to 20 feet from any of the representatives. And that was the closest people opening the ballots. There were people that were, 50, 100 feet from us. The closest that was 20 feet about, and you could not see at all the envelope, the ballot itself, where they were stacking them, anything that was required that we were able to see. There were also monitors up around the area. The monitors were pathetic, to be honest. They were fuzzy, looked like they were using old technology as far as, we have the most clearest televisions created, in the world now. And these were, probably from the 60s. You're looking at all these multiple cameras, screenshots put together of people opening ballots, but you could not even see at all or witness anything if anything was any misdoing or anything going wrong. It was very discouraging on my part. I was very much looking forward to being a part of that day and representing myself and Pennsylvanians in a fair election. And I was, discouraged about it. I love this country and I love Pennsylvania. I was not born and raised in Pennsylvania, but I have been here for 30 years. And it is very important to me that this election be fair. And thank you again for having me.
First and foremost, my name is Leah Hoops. I'm from Delaware County, Pennsylvania. I was a poll watcher on the day of election, and I was also present at the counting center in Chester, Pennsylvania. So first and foremost, thank you to this committee and all those involved, and especially Senator Mastriano and former Mayor Rudy Giuliani. To our fearless and brave president, thank you for being our shield and putting us first, and I'm forever grateful. It is an absolute honor to be a part of this hearing and to finally have an opportunity to speak about what took place in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. I feel as an American that it is my duty to help protect the integrity of our elections, not just for me, but for every American. There are many who have lost life and limb for my right to vote. I want to give a brief introduction and history of how I got involved in this election. 4 years ago, Donald Trump came down an escalator, and I knew that he was here to take back our country. I was born and raised in Delaware County in a conservative home. I was taught from an early age to love thy neighbor, defend your country, and by all means, always speak the truth. I took those values throughout my life and applied them in every avenue possible, which brings me up to the present. And about 18 months ago, I became a volunteer and assisted with a campaign for a magisterial judge. In that process, I was approached by my current chairman and became an appointed committee woman for the Bethel Township Republican Party. In conjunction with my committee position, I also started volunteering for the Trump campaign, registering voters, and assisting with events. During this time, I started a watchdog group and reached out to the Thomas More Society. Now, associates, we've been focusing our efforts in election integrity. Our greatest efforts have been in following closely the newly elected and completely Democrat-run Delaware County Council and the Democrat Majority Election Board. This also includes any and all contractors, support staff, and any key players involved. What we found was actually concerning. Not only was private grant money used from the Center for Tech and Life owned by Google and Mark Zuckerberg, but pop-up voter sites were also approved. These pop-up voter sites were placed in heavily Democrat cities, including Chester and Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, in which case the grant money from the CTCL was used to pay for electioneering. It was literally a one-stop shop. Walk in, apply, get your ballot, submit, and you were out the door. But where this didn't take place was in heavily Republican and independent areas. Let's also make note that the voting machine warehouse supervisor is a Bernie Sanders delegate, who was also solely responsible for every scanner, machine, V-card, and all machines with absolutely zero experience in this area. The real story is $2.1 million spent to move the counting center from the courthouse in Media, Pennsylvania. Okay. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I forgot where I was. Okay, so the real story is the $2.1 million spent to move the counting center from the courthouse in Media, Pennsylvania, which has been something that has been done for decades, to the wharf in Chester, Pennsylvania. Let me explain to you the layout of the counting center. It is in the middle of a huge parking lot, which sits back on Seaport Drive next to loading docks. It has multi-million-dollar connections to the company Power HRG and Subaru Park Soccer Stadium. The counting center was on the first floor, in which there were multiple places to bring in ballots in and out of, elevators, and many rooms in which workers had access. I was there for 3 straight days. What became of concern was the back room, which had no observers, no line of sight or transparency into the process. There was no cooperation, complete resistance from election night and every day after. It took until our lawyer got an injunction to get into that back room in which pre-canvassing was transpiring. Even with an injunction, which was a joke, we were granted 5 minutes every 2 hours, and the setup was sitting in a chair 20 feet from any physical ballot. I truly wish I had enough time today to recreate what I witnessed and felt during those moments, but we did not gather here today just for me and my experience, but rather a collection of experiences from Americans like myself. What I hope to achieve is for the public to understand is that we have stuck our necks out, have been intimidated, threatened, bullied, have spent countless hours away from our families, friends, and jobs. We have signed affidavits under penalty of perjury, which should be consideration enough to know that this is a very serious issue. I'm here for one thing only, and that is to speak the truth. This is not about party. This is about my country. Every American deserves transparency, truth, and be able to question those in power without fear of intimidation, bullying, or backlash. I hope this committee takes action if needed, and justice will be swift to anyone involved in fraudulent activity. The Republic is angry, disgruntled, tired, beaten up, and ready to defend this country. Thank you. Without election integrity, we are just another banana republic. I thank you again for your time, efforts, and service, and it is an honor to be here and to be part of a historical moment. Thank you.
It's a tough group to follow. My name is Gregory Stenstrom. I'm from Delaware County. I'm a father, a family man. I was a former commanding officer and executive officer in the Navy. I'm a veteran of foreign wars. I'm the CEO of my own private company. I'm a data scientist. I'm a forensic computer scientist. I'm an expert in security and fraud. Leah had recruited me for this election, and I was glad. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So for the first part of the day, I was a poll watcher in the city of Chester, and I was with just another former U.S. Marine officer, and the two of us were the only GOP poll watchers in the city of Chester, which is about 40,000 people. Because of the consolidation for COVID, there were 7 polls we were allowed to, that we were able to make it to in 22 precincts. What we saw out there was pretty orderly and exciting. People were excited to vote. One of the things we saw out in the field was that people, quite a few people had done mail-in ballots. So they came in and they hadn't been updated in the Delaware County database yet. So they would come in and say, the database is not showing me on the database, I'd like to vote. So the process, one of the processes was to give them a provisional ballot. And then they would vote provisionally, and then later on, their vote would be sorted out. That didn't happen. I observed, and the gentleman that was with me observed 7 different polls where the people were given a regular ballot. So they cast a vote and put it in. We let it happen a few times. We didn't jump all over them. Happened a couple of times. We went up. In all cases, the election judges were very forthcoming, very polite. They apologized and they said they couldn't do it. But that somewhat spurred me to go down to the counting center, which Leah described. It's on the Seaport Ave. It's a remote building, not much around it. And I wanted to take a look. All day long, I had been told that there were 10 to 20 GOP poll watchers down there and that everything was well in hand. And out of curiosity, I decided to go down. I arrived at 6 o'clock with 4 other gentlemen, again, former military and some good citizens from Delaware County. And we weren't allowed to get in until 11 o'clock at night, and we had to get some legal help to get us in. So it took us 5 hours to get upstairs. After that, what we saw here is, what I saw is, I really think the crux of this in Delaware County is, as an expert in this, I think it's impossible to verify the validity of about 100,000 to 120,000 votes. Now, Delaware County's got 425,000 registered voters. Approximately 300,000 of them voted. I don't know what the exact number ended up. Mayor Giuliani had nailed that number. But of that number, over 100,000 are in question in my mind. What I saw as a forensics expert was an election process that was forensically destructive in the manner it was conducted, with the envelopes being separated from the ballots and gone to the other side of the room. And the problem with that from being forensically destructive is that when you go to do a recount, okay, the machines did a pretty good job of recounting. So if I have 120,000 ballots, mail-in ballots at one side of the room and envelopes at the other side of the room, it's still going to come out 102,000 votes for Vice President Biden and 18,000 votes for President Trump. I don't care how many times you recount those votes, the ballot's going to come out the same every time. So the notion of a recount in a forensically destructive process doesn't work very well. What I saw there was a chain of custody in all cases that was broken. It was broken for the mail-in ballots, the Dropbox ballots, the election day USB V-card flash drives. In all cases, the chain of custody and the procedures that were defined by the Delaware County Board of Elections and Election Process Review they didn't follow one. I couldn't even redline this multi-page document because the entire document would be, they didn't follow any of the procedures. So I personally observed USB V-cards being uploaded to the voting machines by the voting machine warehouse supervisor on multiple occasions. I saw this personally. I brought it to the attention of the deputy sheriff who was there stationed, who was a senior law enforcement officer, and I brought it to the attention of the clerk of elections. I brought it to their attention. I objected, and I said, this person is not being observed. He's not part of the process that I can see, and he's walking in with baggies, which we have pictures of, and it was submitted in our affidavits, and he was sticking these USBs into the machines. So I personally witnessed over that happened 24 times, over 24 times. We have multiple other witnesses that saw it, including Democrat poll watchers. And we were told, I was told the next day by the solicitors, well, actually not the solicitor, but the attorney that we had secured.
Pause it real quick. Pause it real quick.
Every election.
Okay. Right here, he says, why do you believe that there wasn't voter fraud? How does the Senate and House come Republican but not president? I don't know about you, but when I vote, my party is across the board, like most of America, which is a valid point. And here's the thing. A lot of those ballots, it came out that people literally, the mail-in ballots only voted Biden. That was it. There was no other votes on there, which is also evidence of fraud. It raises suspicion. They would look for those kind of things in voter fraud. That's one of the main things that they look for, is to see if there's any other people on that ballot, and there wasn't. It was not. It was just ballot. It was just Biden on their ballots. So that's another clear evidence of voter fraud. So yeah, just want to throw that in there. Let's keep it going.
They leave a couple of USBs in the voting machines, and they're brought back, and generally the warehouse manager comes over and puts them in. So in talking to the U.S. Attorney General McSwain and other law enforcement officers, I found out that was not the case. That generally, more than two is unusual. So they denied they did it, but as of today, 47 USB-V cards are missing, and they're nowhere to be found. So I was told personally that these 24 to 30 cards that were uploaded weren't there. Those cards, I demanded that they didn't update the vote live time. They only updated it about once every 2 or 3 hours. I demanded they uploaded the vote so I could see what the result was, and it was 50,000 votes. And I think as a computer scientist, an American, and a patriot, it doesn't matter who those 50,000 votes were. I'll tell you they were for Vice President Biden. But what was shocking to me as an American, as someone who has gone to sea, gone to war, that that could even happen. So several other things that came up was on Thursday, it took us 3 days for them to obey the court order that I secured with Leah's help and the help of the Thomas More Society, who we thank, incredibly good patriots. They got us in there. They got the order for us to get in and watch it, look at the back offices, which were locked for 5 minutes every 2 hours. I went in, I was the first one allowed to go in at 1:30 on Thursday, and then again at 3:30 for 5 minutes. The county solicitor had a stopwatch. On the first time, I was not allowed to touch anything. The second time I did. What I observed in the locked room in the back office was 70,000 unopened mail-in ballots. They were in boxes of 500, stacked in neatly. The gentleman that came in with me was a Democrat poll watcher, is a forensic pathologist, a very detailed, very dedicated man, and he took meticulous notes as well. And I verified with him, are you seeing what I'm seeing? We both agreed as GOP poll watchers and a Democrat poll watcher that we had witnessed 60 to 70,000. We had a little bit of a disagreement there. The problem with that was by that time, the mail-in ballots had already been counted. So 120,000 mail-in ballots had already been counted, posted, and done. So my question is, where did the 70,000 ballots go? And nobody knows. We have a picture in here of a large number of boxes that I took that were filled with what appeared to be ballots sitting by the Blue Crest machine. They were there for about 3 hours and then they disappeared. I thought it notable when I watched it, when they were taking the ballots up and down. I said, I am an expert in fraud. I saw the ballots going up multiple elevators and racks. And I think a lot of well-meaning people and a lot of honest people were there doing that. They were trying to participate in the process. And I would say that 99% of the people there, the way the process was designed, I believe that people thought it was a non-fraudulent process. I heard that said many times.
Pause real quick.
I said, there's no.
Okay, I got to say this because I just read a comment right now of this dude, I don't know, Los, whatever. He said that they're dismissing all the cases, right? Because there's no evidence, lack of evidence. Well, here's the thing, man. If you want to talk about the evidence, it's hard to prove, first off, that the Dominion machines had anything to do with voter fraud. It's hard to prove it. All right. When they questioned Dominion about it, they didn't want to make a statement. They didn't want to talk about it. Then they lawyered up. All right. Second, a main part of evidence is sworn testimony. That is a big part of evidence. So to say that there is no evidence when you have an eyewitness right there, that counts more than anything else than that other than a smoking gun. An eyewitness there. If say somebody gets popped and they throw the gun away, but somebody seen them use that weapon and do the crime, that person's testimony matters in that case and still can be convicted. Sworn testimony is evidence. So don't say that there's no evidence. All right. So yeah, my bad, y'all. Put that back up there.
No. Well, not only that there's no evidence, but there is evidence. People don't understand like the way things work. You need probable cause to get it to court. They have enough probable cause. And I think that people are discrediting Donald Trump because they don't think they think he's not as smart as the media portrayed him to be. Everything he has done has been strategic. I never thought from day one that this was going to go in just some court in each state, because the swamp runs deep and it runs wide.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always thought this was going to go to Supreme Court from day one. And if people would get their feelings out of it and actually look the way elections run and the way the court system runs and actually take time to fucking read, they would understand it.
Rachel, don't make us do it to you, Rachel. Because let me say something. Just up until last week, this dude's whole presidency, y'all were sore losers. Y'all were not even y'all, just some strong felt liberals were sore losers, even in their party. All right. So when you talk about give it up already, y'all didn't give up until right now, where you think that Joe Biden has actually won the election. Y'all didn't give up his whole presidency. Now you're talking about just give it up already. Y'all were sore losers for 4 years. 4 years. We aren't even sore losers. If the dude wins the election, then he wins the election. We just want it to be fair. We're not going to be like you guys and cry about it for his whole term. We're just going to get with the program and keep it moving. You guys were the sore losers for 4 years. So don't come on here making statements like that, because I would really hate to rip you up right now. All right. I'm trying to change my life and God's working on me. But comments like that is really, you're going to make me go in. And I don't want to do that to you. Okay. So if you're not here for anything other than trolling, just move along so you don't get your feelings hurt. All right.
I want to address Rachel's comment. Rachel, we are not sitting here just because we are sore losers. We are sitting here fighting for every American who voted. So that includes you too, sweetheart, because right now this is Trump's battles he has to go through, but one day it could be your president too. It could be your candidate that you're fighting for. You have the right to vote. We elect we put people into office. We are the people, and each and every one of us count, period. So we're not sitting here just fighting for ourselves because we're a bunch of sore losers. One, we're a bunch of educated people, and we are trying to school those who do not educate themselves because they do not know better or do not have the resources, whatever the reason is. So we're sitting here fighting for you too. You're welcome.
Yeah, and the thing is too, It's not just about Trump. See, you got places like in California, Los Angeles, where Joe Collins was running, right? And it's been shown out there in that county, 8,000 votes were put in by two men that voted against every Republican that should have won. A person that lost in less than an 8,000 vote margin should have won. And they're not even going back, even though they caught them two guys, they only caught them. They didn't take them votes out and say, well, you know what, because of these votes, we need to do a recount, or you're going to win the election, or you're going to win the election. They just said, all right, we caught these guys and let that be that. And then the people that lost still lost. So this is why it's important. It's not that, like, and I ain't got nothing against you. If you want to be, you know, on here trolling, that's up to you. That's your prerogative. But I would say not to do that, because it's deeper than just the president. It's not just about the president. It's about Senate. It's about Congress. It's about all these other people that ran. All right, that lost because of that was a factual fraud in Cali. This is not even a debate. This isn't even an opinion. This is an actual fraud that they caught, and this is just the one that they caught, or the one that they put out there that they caught. So it runs deeper than just that, sister. So I mean, yeah, we ain't gonna spend all day on it though, you guys. Let's get back to the video.
Fraud going on here. Well, I'm not, you know, I didn't even bring that up, but I think people saw what they wanted to see, and they saw what was intended for them to see. I called it at one point Kabuki theater. I said it was all designed for us to see it. It was entertaining. There were cameras on it. When we finally got into the back room where the votes were being ingested, as a data scientist, I want to see where the data is coming in. And I wanted to know the universe of the votes. Well, the universe of the votes was only supposed to be 120,000 mail-in ballots. We were told there were 6,000 ballots remaining. So I said, okay, we have a universe of 126,000 votes. And then when I get back there, the universe wasn't 126,000 votes. The universe was 200,000 votes. So that's a problem. I think the last thing I wanted, a couple of other things, is the Blue Crest sorter machine was only manned by one person. You know, people ask me all the time, how do people commit crimes? I know there's a lot of theories here, and I always look for the simplest thing. People that stuff, you know, sticking USB sticks in, putting ballots in, very simple thing, only takes a couple of people. Doesn't take a big conspiracy. I think people look at things and they use inflammatory words and, you know, like fraud and so forth. As a forensic computer scientist, my interest is in the data. Where did it go? Where did the spoilage go? How did the data come in and go out of the system? So I think as a scientist, we need to look at that. We need to audit that. What was really upsetting to me, and the most upsetting, was I had spoke to multiple law enforcement agencies and literally begged multiple law enforcement agencies. I said, go in, and I said, in order to prove, prove that nothing's happening, you either exonerate yourselves from the process or refute what I'm saying, please. It's a very simple process. Just go get the forensic evidence from the computers. It's a simple process. You turn the computer off. It's non-destructive. Takes moments, maybe half an hour, 20 minutes to do it properly and collect the evidence. You open the computer up. You take a device called a bit blocker. You put it in the hard drive. It's done under the observation of law enforcement officers. They take a forensic image of the drive, put it all back together. It wouldn't have taken more than an hour to image all 5 machines. That was never done, despite my objections, and that was 3 weeks ago. Lastly, when they said, well, we've got all the forensic records and so forth. We just learned 2 days ago that virtually all chain of custody logs, records, yellow sheets, everything was gone. All forensic evidence, all custody sheets in Delaware County are gone. They had a signing party where they sat down and poll workers were invited back to recreate those logs. And our understanding as of today was that they were unsuccessful in getting them all. So we have a situation where we have 100,000 ballots to 120,000 ballots, both mail-in and USB, they're in question. Now, there's no cure for this. There's no remedy for this. As a home charter, we could have a re-election in Delaware County for our own representatives within our own town. but there is no cure for that for the President of the United States. And I don't believe as a citizen and an observer to this that anybody could certify that vote in any good conscience. And if the Democrats that were part of this process, were so, had done things, followed their own procedures, which they created almost unilaterally, we would be in a situation where they could exonerate themselves and they could say, Mr. Stenstrom, you've been misinformed. We have evidence here that refutes what you say. But that's not the case. They can't do that. So I say, if you can't certify that vote, and you can't certify 100,000 votes out of 300,000, then you can't certify Delaware County. And I'm done, and thank you for your time and patience.
Worse.
Say that again, Tony, my bad. Say it again.
I said it gets worse and worse and worse, and we hear about more fraud and more fraud.
You had one more video to pull up, didn't you?
Yeah, 1 second.
Let's do that. Because this is all, and people in the comments that are saying that there's no proof. Like, what do you think a sworn testimony is? A sworn affidavit is a sort of proof.
Let me ask this question. Was anybody this gung-ho for evidence regarding Russia?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Democrat.
And then not only that, there's always proof. I want proof. Like, do you think that they're just going to appease the people? They're not a liberal party. They don't appease people. They're going to put their chess moves in a certain spot and drop the bomb when they're damn good and ready. They're not about appeasing the people. Why would it ruin their whole entire case just to make some of you guys in the comments calm your tits? Relax and wait for it.
Calm your tits.
I swear, every time I hear somebody say, stop using that word fraud, why are you watching then? Like,
calm your moon balloons.
Calm your tits.
Wait, I have another question. Why are Biden and Kamala so quiet? They're the VP and the president-elect. Shouldn't they be talking to the people?
Biden, he set up his own little presidential thing. It's his little presidential office. I think it's in his basement. You guys ain't see that? He addresses the country, and he's going around talking to world leaders, and he's just gung-ho, man.
I know.
Maybe this is the push he needs. Maybe this is the push that he needed after 47 years of doing absolutely fucking nothing.
And all of a sudden, the Logan Act just disappeared. It's non-existent anymore. Fuck out of here. I hate hypocrisy. Hypocrisy drives me fucking nuts.
Kamala Harris is not black, by the way. I don't know if anybody knew that. I'm telling you, just in case you didn't know.
Good job. Now you see him out here. Do your job. You're essential to this republic, and without you doing your job, instead of being partisan hacks, this republic can't stand. So now you got some information, you got some witnesses with courage. These people are heroes to me as a retired Army colonel. I look at them and I say, you guys are outstanding. Thanks for being a little step up. Because I am cognizant that the so-called tolerant people on the left will not show much love or tolerance to people they disagree with. And so thank you for standing, because you're warriors being able to stand for and save this republic. So thank you for going forward here. I mean, indeed, I started this off quoting from John Adams. We are in Adams County. Facts are stubborn things. There's a lot of hard facts out there, and guess what? As history and change in 1863 in Gettysburg, back then it's July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So on this day, history is changing for our country and state back at Gettysburg once again. I mean, I don't even know how this happened in America. We can send 50 years ago, men to the moon, but we can't have a safe, secure election in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. What's going on here? It's got to be by design, because we have the technology, we have stealth aircraft that are the envy of the world, but we can't run an election better than Afghanistan. Congressman Perry, you and I were in Afghanistan, And I don't know how in the heck Afghanistan has more secure, safe elections than Pennsylvania does. I mean, beam me up, Scotty. There's no sign of intelligent life anywhere. Really? We move heaven and earth with American dollars to secure elections in Iraq and Afghanistan and elsewhere. We can't do it in our own state. It's by design. There's people in Pennsylvania not interested in safe, secure elections. And we have to correct this. There's two things that need to happen. First off, we need to make sure that the real winner is sent forth from this presidential election. And number two, we need to fix it. It doesn't happen ever again. You know, I can't believe we're having this conversation here in Pennsylvania. You know, this is the kind of stuff I hear about that goes on in Belarus under Lukashenko, or in Russia under Putin, under Saddam Hussein's Iraq. Really? Here in our state? I mean, this is disgusting to me. You know, I watched when I was doing strategy in Russia, you know, Putin's people stuffing ballot boxes. The same thing that happened in Pennsylvania. When I saw that 15, 20 years ago, I was like, well, thank God we're not like that. What happened? What happened? And we're not going to let it stand. You know, I saw, you have to forgive people because we are a constitutional republic. So I'll forgive those that say democracy. But I saw one man had a sign in Philadelphia, and the irony wasn't lost on me. Democracy dies in Philadelphia. Can you imagine the irony of that? You know, where the light of liberty was lit in 1776, it transformed this world. Where in this very same state, a new birth of freedom. And then, of course, let's not forget 2001, Todd Beamer. Let's roll. You know what? It's our time to roll. This is no time. You know, democracy can die in darkness, in dark rooms with no transparency and accountability. We're shining light on this darkness here. We're going to take our state back. We're not standing aside in this hour. You know, as Representative Metcalf rightly said, in 1994, there was so much shenanigans and cheating in the Marks versus Stinson case that a federal district judge threw out the election results, took a senator out of Harrisburg, state senator, and put the Republican in because the election results were so corrupted. So we do have a precedent here, federal courts, and I hope you take a hard look at that here. Has our election results in Pennsylvania at the presidential and other levels been so corrupted that the results have to be thrown out? That's going to be a case you're going to have to make before the Supreme Court there, but it sure sounds like something stinks in Denmark or in Philadelphia. I don't know. You know, one vote, one person, one legal vote per person, and any cheating goes in there disenfranchises an American. And I can't believe this is happening here, and we're not going to let it stand. I don't know why it's so hard. You know, I know it's hard because this has been going on here for a lot longer than we imagine. But in Galatians 6:9, we're told by St. Paul, grow not weary doing good, because in due time you'll reap your harvest. We're going to reap our harvest. The time for dithering, and deliberation is over. It's time for decisive action. We have to protect our Commonwealth and our nation. The eyes of the world are upon us, and let's turn the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania from a laughing stock to the pride of the world once again, as we've always had been and need to be again. This is our day, this is our hour, this is our time. So yes, Mr. Franklin, a republic, if you can keep it, we're going to keep it. Can you keep it? Can you? Will you? We're going to keep the republic. Thank you, and God bless you all.
That was dope. That was dope.
That was dope as hell.
Beat me up, Scotty.
That was dope. Yeah, man. So I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I think there's more than enough. People talking about evidence. I think that there's more than enough to take this to the Supreme Court and to possibly overturn a lot of these different votes.
People that don't care or ask us, just get over it. You lost. They don't understand how government works. They don't understand how we affect other world leaders. They affect other countries. If things go down here, then you can just expect everything else to fall apart. You should care. You should honestly care. It doesn't matter if you voted or not. You should care that your country has an election process that has integrity and you can trust it. You should care.
I agree. 100%.
It's that simple. Just care.
Well, the thing thing is that I think that people don't care enough to actually look into the way things work. Like, I think that's the biggest problem with why. I mean, I don't believe that Biden got more votes than Obama did.
No.
That's just impossible to me, right? Than the first Black president, But there's just no way. So I was looking at this article today, and it was talking about Biden, and he's claiming that he promises amnesty for 11 million illegals, right? And of course, well, people, this is the thing though. People, yes, great, that's awesome. First of all, why are you saying that's awesome and that's great when obviously you clearly do not understand how things work? He can say anything he wants to say, right? But one, he has to be president first. I just want to throw that out there. Two, it's going to go before Congress. And then it has to go to the Senate. So even though Congress is the majority Democrats, Senate is not. Like people just think that he can, just because he says it, it's what's going to be what happens. And I'm thinking, how did you guys forget that Biden and Obama together during their 8 years deported more immigrants than any other president and vice president? Anyone can look that up. They built cages. Yep. They put kids in cages. How are you telling? So which immigrants are you gonna give amnesty to? The ones your ass deported?
I'm telling you.
Like, people, it just shows me, like, based on some of the comments and stuff, how exactly what Suni said. They do not research for themselves, and they are voting on emotion. I think we should have new laws or something. Seriously. Like, if you can take a simple test, like, and it don't have to be great, I'm saying 25 questions max. Make a multiple choice, and guess what? If you only get half of them right, then you can vote. You guys.
That's so funny you said that. I told my husband that too. I said people should at least have to take some sort of quiz to just like even inclinate that a little bit about a little bit, because people are just like, oh, that orange man, he's real bad. It's like,
Bruh.
You have no idea.
Democrats are like the janky car salesman that has all the dope cars on the lot, but under the hood is just garbage. That's what it's like when you vote for a Democrat.
Y'all want to have a little bit of fun real quick?
The neighborhood crisis. Let's go. I know it's going to be a stupid comment. I know it.
Here we go.
Oh.
Oh shit! I'm scared.
Right.
Y'all hear it?
They're gonna get it started.
No.
Yeah.
Is there any place we would
never said I oppose fracking.
You said it on tape.
I did show the tape. Put it on your website.
I'll put it on.
Put it on the website.
Would there be any place for fossil fuels, including coal and fracking, in a Biden administration?
No, we would work it out. We would make sure it's eliminated. I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel. No more, no new fracking. I'd gradually move away from fracking.
And I think it's critically important on day one that we end any fossil fuel leases on public lands.
Well, what about, say, stopping fracking and stopping pipeline infrastructure and
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
I have one final
Would
question.
you close down the oil industry?
It falls.
Or would you close down the
By
oil
the way, I
industry?
would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I would
that's
transition.
a big statement.
That is a big
In
statement.
terms of business, that's the biggest statement.
Okay.
Because
We have
basically
one
what he's
final
saying
question,
is he is
Mr.
going to
President.
destroy the oil industry. Will you remember that, Texas? Will you
Okay.
remember that, Pennsylvania?
We have to come together. That's why I'm running. I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate. So vote. Visit iwill.com/Ohio. God bless you.
Can somebody tell Joe, by the way, it's not a real website, and Joe, you're running for president, not senator. And by the way, that senator, the Mormon guy, is Mitt Romney, not some Mormon governor. Now, sadly, what we showed you, that's just from a couple of hours today. because every time that Joe actually leaves the basement bunker and stays out past 10 a.m., well, disaster ensues. Here's a quick reminder.
Look, tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday, and I want to thank you all. I tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I? We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by the you know the thing. If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330. We choose truth over facts. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Donald Trump does pose an extra threat to this. It's not hypothetical.
This is pretty serious. By the way, these are way beyond an occasional campaign gaffe, and I am beginning, well, I'm more than a little worried that this man could represent a clear and present danger to this country. He's obviously not capable of leading. He's been hiding the entire campaign, and the corrupt media mob is covering for him. Joe wants to be the president of the United States of America. That would be the toughest job in the world. And at times, Joe doesn't seem to remember that he's even running for president, or what state he's in, or what day of the week it is. Does anyone really believe that if elected, that Joe Biden will actually be in control of anything?
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of George, he's going to find ourselves in a position where if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world.
Spooky, creepy. Creepy Uncle Joe.
Oh, it's funny. It's Joe.
Come on, man. Candy's for the kids.
Maybe he forgot.
Wait a minute. You look familiar. Who are you?
Are we gonna let her get away with this?
She took everything.
Thank you. Well, that was quite interesting, wasn't it? A little truth to that. Nah. Can't happen. We can't do that to our country. We can't do that to our country. If I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. And if I don't always play by the rules of Washington and the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fight harder than any president has ever fought for the people of this country. One of the most important issues of this election is law and order. You know very well in Pennsylvania what's going on. Joe Biden and his party have spent the entire year inciting violence and hatred against our great police officers. And remember this, it's all Democrat-run cities, radical left Democrats. You look at what's going on, all Democrat-run cities. Republicans have no problems, our cities are doing great, but it's all Democrats.
I'm just saying, that was dope.
Trump 2020.
Trump,
You guys know Trump won, right? I think everybody knows that.
Trying to tell you. But you guys, I'm sorry I had you on so long. I said we were going to stay on for like 45 minutes, and we're well over that. So I want to give you guys the floor. Closing statements. Say what you want to say to the people.
I have a question real quick, though.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
One more question. So with all this going on, right? It's gonna go to SCOTUS. Like it's almost inevitable. So what are the odds that Pelosi is just gonna be, hanging out for like a week or 2 or 3?
None.
I mean, you don't think so? You don't think this will go past January 20th?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I don't think so. I think in December we're gonna see something big happen. Personally, I think December we're gonna see something very big happen, and it's gonna shake the core of the United States.
I hope
That's
you're
what I
right,
believe.
because that's
And-
my nightmares at night is Pelosi in any type of control.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. She ain't gonna get it. Geriatric Joe ain't gonna get it. Lock up your mama Kamala ain't gonna get it. We're gonna be just fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't you guys worry. So go ahead, ladies.
Girl,
Take the
that's
floor.
his girl. Kamala,
Who, Kamala? I can't
Say what?
stand Kamala.
I know that.
stand her.
I have to trigger you.
She gets under my skin.
Oh,
Like,
I can't,
really
I
bad.
cannot stand Kamala either. She's like the worst, but
I'm
it's
so
okay.
upset as a woman. I'm sure the ladies can justify
Facts!
or,
Oh my
or relate,
God.
but like, why are the 2 women who have excelled, we'll say the highest in politics, are Hillary and Kamala? Like, what, and what? Like, that's disgusting, you guys. Like, that's gross. Like,
I'm like, what are you trying to teach your children? What kind of example are you setting for? I don't know. I'm a mom of 4 girls. I'm like, I don't want my daughter getting anywhere on her damn knees.
Well, she's black, so she's teaching little black girls that they can be something now, because we didn't know that before.
Yeah.
Her and Cardi B, the dynamic duo.
Oh yeah, Cardi.
Oh my
Such
God.
political insight from Cardi.
Add AOC to the mix.
I
and
can't
her
hear you,
list.
Shelly.
Oh,
Every time someone tells me that AOC is like the spokeswoman for Latinas, I want to fucking throat punch them. I'm like, because I don't know. Just because she knows
Anna Paulina.
just because she knows educated words doesn't make her smart. I know a lot of book smart people that are
No, she wants it.
They don't know nothing about the people or what they want or what they need. She
I don't
claims,
like AOC.
she says, what does she
She
say?
wants- yeah.
That
No.
was raised in the Bronx. I'm like, girl, no, you weren't. I was like, you were not raised in the Bronx.
AOC. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on AOC.
She wants a list of people.
Did you guys hear her creepy
list
little
of
song?
people. It just shows her petty.
Did y'all hear her
What
creepy
happened?
little song?
I was just watching it.
What?
Her creepy song.
Oh yeah,
We
Oh,
are
no.
fighting for our world. We're fighting for our future, or something
Yeah.
like that.
yeah,
Nobody else knew the song. Nobody. It sounds like one of the songs that you sing on a Baptist school bus when you're going into church, except way more horrible.
Exactly. And you saw her back there with no rhythm.
I would have rather heard WAP.
Oh my
No,
God.
you didn't.
I want no none
you
of that.
didn't. No, you
No.
I'm just saying.
No.
I don't want no
Kamala. Kamala, AOC, Ilhan Omar, and Cardi B. Cardi, the only thing that they need to be doing, you know what? They need to follow Cardi B up on the stage and throw around that WAP. That's what they should do. That's it. I think they would be
Gross.
so much more effective
Oh
if they
my
did that.
gross.
Leave the
Ew.
politics to my man Donnie. You know what I'm saying? Mr. D.
Oh
Trump,
my God.
Mr. President, Mr. 45, baby.
You know
And
how
they can
they're
just go
called
on.
AOC and them, they're called the squad. Well, Kamala, AOC, Cardi, they could be the WAP squad.
Nah,
The
they're
WAP
thoughts. Just
There
call
you
them
go.
thoughts.
The Hodge twins with their weak ass pokes.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Weak ass posts. Weak ass post squad. Or weak ass politicians. How about that? Weak ass politicians. Boom.
Yo, that's gonna
Mic
be
drop.
Oh my God.
That's their
I
new
still like what a pendeja.
What up,
What is
man?
What a pendeja.
what a pendeja.
I agree.
Seguro que sí.
I agree. Bunch of that being said, y'all got anything else before we keep on talking about WAP? Weak ass politicians.
No.
Not the other ones.
Weak ass politicians.
Yes.
Oh, so funny.
I agree.
All right. Well,
You know what? I wanted one of the guys. I can't remember his name now. Wait, hold on. One of these guys. I think he's on your YouTube channel. Merchandise Mark. Like he was making a bunch of comments and about like politicians and all this crooked stuff, and he was saying because I live in Chicago, and I really don't believe that Kim Foxx would have won with her record and everything going on. I really do believe that there was corruption here, even though we are always known to be a blue state, right? But I know so many people that will come, so I do believe there was some corruption here, just based on the Kim Foxx winning. There's no way she won. But he said, and Blagojevich, we all know about Blagojevich.
I love Blagojevich. That's my dude.
Well, he made comments. He's made comments, and then his Merchandise Mark, but he's a felon. Just because someone's a felon, that doesn't discredit what the fuck they know. Like, I want to.
No, half the politicians that they follow are felons. They just don't hear about it.
Like, that does not discredit somebody from what they know about politics, especially when they're in politics. Chicago is known for crooked politicians from before Old Man Davey. So
Malcolm X, felon, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Well, not only that, but if you know anything, that people who make comments like that show me that they don't research. You know why? Because if you know anything about politics, you would know that they threw his ass under the bus for a reason. Period. So your comments, I just tuned you out. But I wanted to give you a little attention because I saw you in there a lot. So there was your few minutes of
I heard that.
Can we deport Ilhan Omar back?
Girl, let's take her ourselves.
That girl.
All I gotta
married
say
her brother.
is, please do your research,
Allegedly.
man.
Allegedly. Let me put that allegedly up there. I don't know how they do it out in Somalia, but we don't get down like that out here. I'm saying.
Wait, I missed your comments. What did he say?
Huh?
What did you say? I missed it.
No, I'm just saying because allegedly Ilhan Omar married her brother and all of that good stuff. But I said I don't know how they do it out there in Somalia, but we don't do it like that out here.
Well,
Not where I'm from anyway. I mean, I don't know. That's the deep state stuff. If anybody's gonna marry my sister, it's gonna be me. You know what I'm saying?
It could be happening here a little bit.
It could be, but not over this way. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm getting off track, and I was about to say something that was very irresponsible that I don't want to say. I'm already fired. I'm just gonna shut up. And I'm gonna get off here.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
No, I can't. I gotta keep it to myself.
Oh my God.
God, get these thoughts out of my brain. Help me be a good Christian.
You might as well say it because once you think, it still counts. Remember?
Gotta throw it out. Stinking thinking. You know what I'm saying? Throw it out. All right, so we all good here, y'all?
Facts,
Straight?
man.
Unite. Oh, y'all got to do it with me. You got to do the whole woo. You know how Russo would. He's not here. God bless his soul. Hope he's all right. Gotta keep him safe on the road. But here we go. Unite. Don't fight. Be a street light. Don't be the change that you want to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America, because without God, it all falls apart.
Woo!
Yeah, brother.
Woo!